running up down my spine. Same old witchcraft when your heart beats mine. Same old feeling that I feel inside. And then my temperature starts to climb. Down and down I go, around and round I go in a spin. Love and a spin me. That old life magical love. Wait for L is for the way you look at me. You all know this? Well, sing. O is for the. Come on, Presbyterians. Louder. E. Anyone I could adore and love is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break. That's it. Love was made for me and you. Wait a minute. Wait, let's do it. Wait a minute. The way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memories of all that. No, they can't take that away from me. The way your smile just clings, the way you sing off key. Very lovely. The way you haunt my dreams. No, they can't take that away from me. We may never, ever meet again on the bumpy road to love. Still always keep the memories of the way you hold your knife, the way we danced till 3, the way you changed my life. No, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away from me. I'm not done yet. I was walking along, minding my business, when out of an orange-colored sky. Everybody knows this. Say it. A wonderful you came by. I was humming this tune, drinking in sunshine, when out of this orange-colored view. Say it. I gotta look at you. One look and I yell timber. Now watch out for falling glass. Ceiling fell in and the bottom fell out. I went into a spin and I started to shout, this is it, I've been here. I was walking along, minding my business, when love came and hit me in the eye. Flash, bang, Alakazam. Flash, flash, bang, Alakazam. Say it again. Flash, bang, Alakazam. Out of an orange-colored sky. You all are great singers.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, my friend Eve Evans. Yay! Eve
And
Evans.
they roar with the plot. No, not really.
What did
The
you say?
dog is whining.
What did you say?
The dog is whining right after your introduction. Can you feed us now? Can
Oh.
you feed us now?
Uh, well, Eve Evans, um, I've known Eve Evans for a really long time. And it, always, first and foremost, I mean, you think of Eve as a great piano player and singer, but you really think of Eve as a great person and funny sense of humor. Very straightforward person. You never would imagine that she's talking about you behind your back. Never.
True again.
You
True
wouldn't
it
even.
is.
And works with quality people and recognizes you as acknowledges you as a human being. And you always get that feeling when Eve's around. So
Come on.
I just want to say that right away.
Well, that's very lovely of you to say. I was just talking about you to someone behind your back a few minutes ago. Yeah,
Damn.
saying, I was. I wish. I wish. I wish. I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener. No, no, it's all good. It's all good. Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. I had to go and feed the dog.
Oh.
Miss Miss Hazel Scott is her name, and I had to go feed her because she wasn't having it. So I'm so glad. Ooh, my head looks really big. Oh, my head is really big. Um, it's just such a pleasure to be here with you. Yes, we've known each other a very long time. And yes, there will be some things revealed today that the general public does not know about me. I'm sure. I'm sure. One of us will reveal them. If it's me, then it's because I wanted to say it first.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know that much about you to reveal. So, I mean, like things that you wouldn't, that you might not be telling people, I don't know. I know
Well, go.
somebody is here who could reveal a lot. Prince Moore is here.
Oh, oh, and he better not say a word.
Cheryl Barnes is here. Randy Tobin is here.
Shut
Randy said
up.
he
Oh,
loved Eve Evans. That's what Randy
boy,
said.
that's just like my inner circle right there, like my recording engineer, my girl who backs me up no matter what. Prince Moore, who stands in the gap all the time. Robert Todd, who's just good looking to stand next to.
That's true. He is pretty handsome,
Oh yeah,
actually.
Ava, my daughter, who is concerned about how my video looks. Get get out of the light. Get away from the light. Well, it's hard to get away from the light. It's above my head, and I'm not that. Oh, makes my
Actually,
hair shine.
you look beautiful right now.
Thank you, thank you. I moved it and got it just right.
You're perfect.
Not as beautiful as you,
Oh,
though.
I don't
Really like
know.
those, I really like those glasses.
Thank you. I got them at Costco.
Shut up!
Yeah, they're
I
pretty
didn't see
cool.
anything. Okay, I'm gonna go look.
But you know what's interesting? They on this show they look kind of pink, and they don't
Yeah,
look pink at all. They look kind of they look gray, but I guess they have this kind of titanium thing
yeah.
going on, and so they look kind of pink. So I guess I'm a
Oh,
pink girl. I didn't know
yeah.
that. I have a
Oh,
granddaughter who's 4 who is just, you know, pink is her
her
total
thing.
thing. Yeah, pink is it. It's interesting because her sister didn't go for pink at all.
Yeah. My granddaughter is a pink girl too. So I hunt for stuff with black and pink polka dots and ballet skirts and slippers, everything in pink. So that's her thing.
Yeah.
It's a girly girl thing.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully
certainly
they won't be musicians,
is.
turn into wearing all black.
Also, Drew Wagner Meese, Drew,
Yeah,
Howdy Baby.
Droopy.
Oh, there you go.
Hi, Droopy.
So, Eve,
Yes,
where are you from? I
yes.
actually don't think I know that.
Well, I was born into a military family, um, and I've lived all over the world. I was born
Hmm.
a poor black child in El Paso, Texas. Um, but and I finally and we've lived all over the world subsequently from Japan to Europe, from the Far East to Europe. And I settled. I lived for 15, 16, 17 years in Orange County with my now rest in peace old man husband. And and I escaped from there, and I came back home to San Bernardino, the armpit of the nation. Uh, but it's a nice place to live, and I have a nice house and two mastiffs and a
Oh,
house sitter and feral cats and um, land to plant a garden.
nice.
I mean,
Yeah,
what more could you ask for?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, and it's paid for.
That's nice too. That's the other thing you could ask for.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And gosh, you were traveling a lot when you were a kid. Did you play piano all that time?
Well, I
Or-
started, yeah, I started when I was 3, and then my mother taught me, and then I got an outside teacher when I was 7. But and I had 3 of those until I was 12, and they kept telling my mother, "How does she know this stuff? How does she know this stuff?" Um, I was only allowed to play, from the practice books and hymn books.
Oh,
I
really?
didn't have, yeah, I didn't have any other outside, secular music to play.
Yeah.
Then when we moved to Germany, I didn't let anybody know I played, because then I would have to play for the school choir. I wasn't feeling that. I wanted to, I wanted to be a singer, and so I sang alto and tenor in the choir, and our choirs from Nuremberg, Germany traveled, the American School in Nuremberg, Germany traveled all over Europe.
Oh,
And when I was about 13, um, I got to headline at a big amphitheater every summer until I was 16 and a half, um, in Barcelona, Spain. And I had an orchestra, 26-piece orchestra,
yeah.
and I sang, the Frank Sinatras and the music of the day, the standards, American standards. And then we escaped from there because the government changed, so all of that stopped.
Yeah.
And we came back to the States, and then I was told by um, my choir teacher in the I guess it was in the 9th grade, 10th, 11th, 11th grade. She told me I couldn't solo. I'd never be a soloist. I should stick to playing the piano.
Really?
And the speech teacher told me I would, public speaking, that was one of my classes. She told me, you know, don't ever think about doing that. I was a better writer than I was a public speaker. And I took
Isn't
those.
that
And
amazing? Uh,
well, my parents told me, well, my high school counselor told me not to think of going to college because um, I should just be content with getting married and having children and being a homemaker. And none of those things were on my agenda. None of those things were on my agenda. So when we came to California, it took a little time. In my senior year, I was the California speech original oratory champion.
Oh, God.
And uh, I studied with Carmen Dragon, the choral conductor, and Jester Hairston, the choral conductor. And I was the student conductor mentoree for the California Youth Choir, which in 1969 was quite a couple of hundred voices.
Yeah.
And then I went to college and started a couple of things, and the rest is history. I decided to supplement my college income by working in dinner houses. If all I had to do was play, when I went around to find out there were some great players and there were some marginal players in my book when I was 19 years old in Newport Beach. So I would get to sit in and they'd see I was pretty good. And when their contract ran out, I got in. So
you did
where do I live?
You,
My stock answer is, where am I from? My stock answer is, home is where the heart is, and my heart is in my chest.
okay. Thank you. But yeah, so Prince, I don't know who you're talking to. He said, "Didn't you get hit by a truck?" Was he talking to you?
You know, we'll get to that, Prince. I think Cathy's doing a good job conducting this interview on her own. Yes, I got hit by a truck. I got hit by a truck when I was 12, and I was told I would not be walking.
Oh,
I would not be walking ever again, and I would never have children, and I would have all kinds of other ailments. But no matter how you believe, I believe that God is merciful, and that wasn't on my agenda. It wasn't on my agenda not to walk. It was not on my agenda.
Is that what you, I mean, at the time, did you, I mean, you mentioned several, different things that, where people in more positions of more power than you basically said, you'll never do this, you'll never do this, you'll never do this. And so at that time, were you kind of emotionally destroyed for a minute and then you went, no, because I believe in God, and is that what pulled you through?
No, actually my parents told me from a very young age, well, I did my first recording at age 3 of the Lord's Prayer, and it played on the radio for like 10 years until we left the States. 9 or 10 years. My parents said that I wasn't really smart enough to listen to what other people told me I couldn't do.
That's interesting.
And that I should not listen to them, because if they had listened to them, I wouldn't have been born.
Okay.
So my faith in God, I knew from a very, very young age that, because I can remember 9 months old. A lot of people can't even remember 2 years old. I can remember that there was something more to this. Oh, I guess I was about 2 when I realized that this was a big adventure. I didn't even have TV, but I would make adventures. I got I would make adventures and I would have adventures. And there would be people in the, like, my favorite story was Chicken Little. Chicken Little, and what is it? The Little Red Hen, where people, you ask people to help you, and they say, you can't do that. I'm not helping you do that. But they're always there for the payoff. That stayed in my psyche. That stayed in my psyche for a long time. Okay, I'm going to confess a big one. Get your pins out, people.
Okay, I
I
got
didn't even know I was, okay, I didn't know I was Black. I just thought it was a great adventure, and this was the body that I got to have the adventure in.
Hmm.
You know, I I saw things that no child should see, um, as a Black woman, as a woman of color. Let me restate that, as a woman of color. My father was from Mississippi. He died a few years ago, and I said, Dad, how about I go back to Mississippi and do a nice house? And Dad, please don't do that, please, okay? Because he had seen, and lived through things no child should see. So, yes, I believe that let's call him God. Let's call him God. But I believe that he's been merciful and full of grace to me so that I can have this wonderful adventure and share the gifts he's given me. That's my own, that's my job. That's my job. That's my day-to-day job, to share the gifts that he's given me.
Yeah.
And he leaves me here so I can do that.
Yeah.
I've had some pretty miraculous healings over the years, my dear.
Yeah.
And when somebody says, you don't know what it feels like. Yeah, I do. I do. I do know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to walk through it. I know all I do is this what we're doing now? And I look around and see what everybody else is doing. Yep. Okay. Here we go. Okay. And I take my faith and the prayers of people I don't even know, and my Savior. And, I take the Trinity with me, and the love of people I know and the people I don't even know. Because nobody walks away from having a deuce and a half, and that's a really large maneuver truck with 6 guys in it, full of 50-gallon barrels. Nobody walks away from that, but I walked away.
This was the truck?
Yes, when I was 12. It
Yeah.
rolled over me. A wheel rolled over my pelvic girdle and dragged me 30 feet and then backed over me. Okay? Nobody walks away. Okay? Nobody walks away from stage 4 cancer, from the base of your vocal cords to your groin, from the middle of your right chest over. Nobody walks away from that. It's been 14 and a half years. Okay. With no medication. Wait a minute. The healing was so complete that there was no follow-up.
Wow.
Okay. So, yeah, I've had some pretty grace-filled, some people would say, I'm lucky. I don't believe in luck. So every day that I'm here is a wonderful opportunity to share or to take a nap, depending on which comes first.
Yeah, well, boy, that's a lot. No, I mean,
Thanks.
no wonder
Now
you're
everybody
looking
knows.
yeah.
So the music, The music is my ministry. I think it's all divinely inspired. I think it's my job to deliver it. Just like every singer wants to help people feel lifted and healed and give them hope and faith and joy and all of that stuff that makes the world turn. Okay. And it's our job. We're called to it. Many are called, few are chosen. We've heard this many, many times. But you can tell a singer that surrenders, a singer, or any musician for that matter, or any painter, or any sculptor, or any dancer that surrenders to the divine inspiration of the message, their self aside. You can, there's, there's no way to explain it except that people are moved by it. You can see them being moved by it because while you're singing, you almost step away from yourself and you get to view the miracle of the gift while you're giving it. You get to see them unwrap the gift, inside their own person. And then afterwards they go, yay! Because, that's what's politically correct. Some people jump to their feet and go, that's what I'm talking about. But, mostly those people are in the ghetto, and stuff. We know who they are. Or they cry. Or you see big grown burly men, wiping a tear away.
Yeah.
Because it is, and it's nothing you did except deliver the package.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we weren't on that yet. Okay, I'll back down.
That's all right. I mean, that's why it's just nice to talk because we can talk about all of this, and really, it's all a part of who we are every day, and especially right now, you know, we're so undistracted, and we see this so clearly, right? I mean, well, it sounds
Yes.
like you've carried that knowledge for a long time, and yeah, it's to listen to you speak makes me think back about my own perspective, and I remember when I realized I found something that I had written when I was in, I don't know, fifth grade or something, and it looked exactly like what I think now, except it was about something that interested me then. But I realized, oh, it's me. I'm the same exact person I was born as,
Yes.
and yeah, it's interesting and it's cool to know that, and it makes um, it makes the soul journey clearer. You know,
That's
it's,
true.
it's just me. Today I'm trying this out. Last year I tried something else out. Tomorrow I'm going to try something else out. But it's me working at it.
Yeah, it's a wonderful adventure
Yeah,
because we don't tell a fifth grader only tells himself, I can't do that by some fear of failing. And when we get older, we realize that failure is a hint, a big hint of what you don't want, what you don't want to do. No, no, that didn't work. Well, let me try this. But you don't think of it in a fearful way. Well, I'll never try again,
yeah,
right? Um, Pandemic has done three good things for me. I get 8 hours sleep when I want it. Okay, I'm able to control uh, what I put in my body. So if I want just grilled vegetables for a week, that's what I have. I don't, my sister lives here and she has to eat too. And, she gets kind of nervous when I do that grilled vegetable thing because she needs some meat, right? And I need meat too, but I don't need it as often as I thought I needed it. Um, I remember to take my vitamins every morning because now that's really, really part of my regimen. I have to do it to feel good. It took 3 months, but I don't have any pain in my hands anymore because taken things out of, I've been able to identify things in my diet that make my hips hurt. Don't eat that.
Yeah.
You know, you know, don't don't do that. Just
Yeah.
don't do that. So, uh, and the third thing is I've been able to think through my projects. You know, okay, I have to do this, and I have to do this, and I have by this date. Don't tell anybody that I texted you this morning and said, "Oh crap, is today the day?" Please don't tell anybody
I
that
won't
I
tell
did.
anybody that.
Oh, good, because I forgot to write. I wrote it down, but I didn't put it where it was. I didn't continue. I think, I think one of the dogs was locked out. Something really catastrophic happened, or I got thirsty or something, or I had to
That
go to the
happens.
bathroom,
That
and I
happens.
forgot to write it down. You know.
That happens. Yeah. For me, I think for me, what the good stuff about the pandemic is the time importance has shifted a little. It's I still am doing some of the same things that I found myself doing before. I'm really interested in developing certain things in the
Sure.
career or online, getting smarter. I mean, even having a microphone and the Zoom thing is, um, but um, but it's a different way of looking at what's important daily. And
Yeah.
like I like to play Scrabble with my husband a lot.
I love Scrabble.
What we can play online together. Um, but I mean, taking the time to actually sit down and I mean, Scrabble. You could before the pandemic, you could go out together, go to a restaurant or go hear music. And what is it now? And it's Scrabble, and maybe when I can convince my husband he wants to do it, working in the yard. And
Yeah.
so but it definitely shifts your attention around on what's important. I really am enjoying reading a lot, and I mean I'm still reading. I was always reading kind of more spiritually based books, and
Mhm.
I keep mentioning this book because I go so slow. I can't believe I've been reading it for 3 months. But Deepak Chopra's How to Find God. But when
Oh,
he
yes.
when he says a bunch of stuff, I don't need to read anymore that day. I can just like kind of sit with it for a week.
That's right. Th-
So
That's a great book. That's a great book. That's on my shelf. Well, it's in a box now, but it was on my shelf.
yeah,
Great book.
yeah,
Great book. And it, I think it subconsciously teaches you how to meditate
yeah,
because truth has a way of surfacing in your brain over and over again until you go. And every time it surfaces, you have a different perspective.
yeah,
Something, something, oh, 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 yeah. Oh, wow. Did I always know that or did that just happen? You know, yeah, yeah, I get that. I get that. I find I have over 3,000 audiobooks.
oh, geez,
Yeah, they're in boxes, girl. I wouldn't be able to live in this room if not. Um, I, I love children's books, adventures, young teens books.
Yeah.
And I try to get the whole collection because I have grandchildren that will eventually enjoy them.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I love espionage. I love um, uh, what's her name? Michelle Obama's book.
Oh yeah, that's a nice book.
I, you know, I listen to it in the car, only in the car. When I get in the car, I would listen to it. Except that last chapter, I sat in the driveway until 2 in the morning to because I didn't want to get out, and have to plug it back in and find where I was. So and that usually happens with every book I do. If it doesn't finish while I'm driving, I'm sitting and it's at a critical part, I just sit there in the driveway until I'm done. And then I come inside and go, "Phew, that was good." Um, Friday nights, which usually be a gig night, are now designated as movie night. So we do movie catch ups.
Oh, cool.
Um, I love animated movies. I love them. I'm just stupid. I'm a kid and I love them. Okay, but we watched one last night called Camp Zero. It's on Prime, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
It is one of the coolest films ever, and it's about a bunch of misfit kids in the South trying to win a chance to be the voice on not the space shuttle, but when they sent up the satellite in 69, where the children could speak in the space and in every language there was. Oh, it's just a
Oh,
great movie.
oh.
And at the end, you you feel sad and happy and relieved and you know that truth wins out
Hmm.
and and all kids can get along and everybody's got a story. I mean, it's like brain frying, and then you have to go try to go to sleep afterwards.
Oh
It
yeah.
don't work out for me so good, it didn't work out. But Friday nights is movie night,
Uh-huh.
and we also watched Hamilton. Have you seen it?
You know, I've only seen a little, and I need to sit and watch it. Is it on Netflix?
No, it's on Disney Plus.
I don't even know. Disney Plus, really?
Disney Plus, and do the 30 day, thing, and then you
Yeah.
don't have to watch Disney anymore if you don't want to.
Okay.
But
All
it
right.
is it is brilliant.
Yeah.
It it does what you and I do, what a lot of not a lot, some singers have come to do. What we do is we fuse jazz with R&B, with a little gospel, with the blues. We fuse the music together because it's all music.
Yeah.
And it's not a new genre. It just kind of identifies that the music, or in Latin, um, it identifies that the music is flexible. How flexible are you? You know, I love to take just old standards and put them in a bossa nova.
Yeah.
Some love songs just sound better
I
with
know.
a Latin beat. They just sound better.
I know.
What is to me, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the fun of a person like us who have been singing standards forever and
Yeah,
trying them out. I remember, so Star Eyes, I always loved Star Eyes, but I couldn't get past hearing Carmen McRae do it Latin in my head. It was kind of the iconic version, and but I really loved the song and I wanted to sing it. And I tried it as a waltz, and it works great
yes,
as
yes,
a
yeah,
waltz.
it does.
So that's like
Yeah,
my signature version, is me singing it as a waltz. It really is beautiful. And not every song fits into a waltz, right?
no, No.
I mean, well.
Well, there was a couple. Oh, I used to play a waltz. Please forgive me. This is my second confession.
Okay.
Play a waltz. Play a waltz on my drum machine.
Oh, that is a confession.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was working at a Tony Roma's in West Covina.
Okay.
Hi, Esther. Anyway, uh, I was, yeah, playing Tony Roma's, and I couldn't figure out how to do take five. So I put it on a waltz. I put it on a waltz and sang it in five. Worked great.
Really?
Worked, yeah, because it comes around every two times.
Wow.
You know, you just have to know where one is. Always know where one is. Always know where one
Oh
is.
my God, that's interesting. I want to try that.
You know, so you know, it's fun. You know, for brains like ours, because we use the right and the left brain.
Hmm.
For our right and left brains, it gives us a Scrabble moment. You know, it gives us a moment to create.
Yeah.
You know, and then you get with other players, and you're singing in five, dead on, dead on. They can't drag you ahead. They can't leave you behind. You're dead on, because in your head you hear this other, and really only 5/4 is only two anyway.
Uh-huh.
One, two, one, two, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's only two anyway. So you reduce it to the lowest common denominator and hit it and go for it. Um, I find great adventure and excitement in watching a 26-year-old come up to me and say, "Did you write that?" No, no, actually, that was written before I was born. But I've never heard it before. Well, it was written by, the pick a composer. And that was very cool, very cool. You should record that. I already did. I already did. A long time ago, you know. Um, but it introduces a whole new generation to something fresh,
Yeah.
because um, our our young generation is coming into the realization that everything shiny is not gold,
Yeah.
and the other realization is people lie. Oh, yeah, okay. And they and they lie for two reasons. One is out of ignorance, and one is out of greed. They lie. So fortunately, fortunately, music, music is one thing you can't. There's noise. There's music. I mean, music has to be intentional, or people don't believe it, and they don't buy it, and not emotionally or with their pocketbooks. They just don't buy it anymore. And young people, we like to say that they're not paying attention, but apparently they're paying attention. So um, I'm blessed because I'm getting old, and and the kid thing, the the video that you showed at the beginning. You saw Brad Bobo. Brad, for those of you who are listening and already know, Brad has cancer. He hasn't been with me for a couple of years now. And he's had 5 different cancers. I
Oh,
mean, he's just running the gamut there. So, um, uh, if you pray, say prayers for him so he can get stronger.
yeah.
He's on. He's got lymphoma now. I mean, he's had bone cancer, liver cancer,
boy.
lung cancer, kidney cancer, brain cancer, and now he's on lymphoma, and he probably will have that blood disorder, and it's just the same as mine was, but he'll probably have it for his lifetime because they can't treat him as aggressively without killing him.
Yeah.
But say prayers for him. And Ricky Taylor, the opera singer.
I'm sorry, something changed in your sound. I'm not sure why. All of a sudden it got different.
Is that better?
No, I'm not sure. Well, you know what? Let's take just a second, and I'm going to go play something of yours. And yeah, somehow the sound changed a little bit. But and I'm sorry to interrupt you there, and we'll come back to that. But I did want to say that Prince actually said the cutest thing a way back. He said, after you talked about, people reacting to the music, he said, yeah, it is something you did. And I didn't cry. There was something in my eye. Yeah, that's the ticket, something in my eye. And then Drew said, I still have bags of audio books for you here at home.
Oh, good. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, does that sound a little better?
No. Maybe while we're listening, maybe now while we're listening to the YouTube, maybe could you sign off and then come back in?
I sure will. Well, I'll go to the bathroom while I'm doing it.
Okay, good. And I'm going to share this. Okay, thank you. I'm sharing the screen. I am going to an Eve Evans moment. So let's see, which Eve Evans do I want to share with y'all? Let's see. I'd like to. Wonder what this one sounds like. See if what this one will sound like here. Not her playing though. Seems to be waiting at the side. Oh, she's gonna just sing instead of play. Here's how to sing in a key that's not really yours. Everything all right. Let me get a better video of this one, of her, because that obviously she was sitting in. Memory, the way you do the things you do. This was 2018. Let's see. Look at that Billy Red on bass.
What's that song?
Look at that Billy Red.
You got a smile so bright. You know you could hit a hand up. Come on. I'm holding you so tight. You know you should have been a hand up. The way you swept me on my feet. You know you could have been a broom. The way you smelled so sweet. You know you could have been some person. Well,
baby.
Oh, you could have been a schoolboy.
Yeah. And whoops, where is she? She's here somewhere. Let me stop sharing my screen and then I can let her in. Admit. Okay, let's try that.
Does that feel better?
Yep, that's better. Randy was telling
I
me.
had to charge.
Yeah, that was really fun. And that I played you at the Jubilee with and Billy Red was playing. Who's the drummer? He's the
With Billy
drummer.
Red.
Who is the drummer? The drummer was the guy that you used on the other one too.
Oh, Larry Washington.
I don't think I know him.
Larry Washington. He was on the road for a long time with, ready? Warren G, the rapper. They use a lot of his tracks. A lot of his he has a whole collection, I think, of 10 beats, that you can use for various recordings and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what he does, and he does a lot of studio time and a lot of radio shows. And I'll take my hands down. My hands look big. Do my hands look big to you? No.
Well, yeah, they do, because they're close. Ava sent me the one of you singing with Lou Matthews, Here's to Life. And
Yeah.
Chris suggested that too. I think we should watch that one because I bet you sing with
If you want to.
crapola.
That was one of the last times Lou
Played
before he moved away, before he had the episode.
Well, this is a good chance for people to see the gorgeous Lou Matthews. And actually, he recorded America with me a few years ago. I think it was his last recording. And I mean, he's, Lou Matthews. People who have been on this show have heard us talk about Lou Matthews and Tom Garvin. Those guys, they were, and Lou's not passed, but he's not playing anymore. And yeah, the two of them were the most beautiful accompanists, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here is Eve Evans, Lou Matthews, and the bassist is?
Bradley Austin Bobo.
Oh, that's Brad Bobo?
That's Brad.
Cool, okay. I didn't recognize him there.
No complaints and no regrets. I still believe in chasing dreams and placing bets. I've had to learn that all you give is all you get. So give it all you got. I've drank my share, I've had my fill, and even though I'm satisfied, I'm hungry still to see what's down the road. all again. Here's to life and every joy it brings. Here's to life, to dreamers and their dreams. How the time just flies. Whoa, how lost can turn to sad goodbyes, and all the memories you've memorized keep your winters warm. There's no yes in yesterday, and who knows what tomorrow brings or takes away. As long as I am in this game, I wanna play for life, for laughs, for love. Here's to life, ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba, and every joy it brings. Here's to life, to dreamers and their dreams. May all your storms be weathered. And all that's good get better. Here's to life. Here's to love. Here's to you. I love you guys.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Wow. That was a classic version, my darling.
Do you hear? Do you see me?
Did I see you?
Do you see me coming onto the computer?
Yes,
I'm
I.
waiting. You do?
Oh, yeah, I see you. Let's see. Oh, did you do it again?
Yes. I should be on the computer.
Well,
Oh,
I don't know. I don't think that's a great idea
why?
because you're on both and you're going to feed back and the phone is doing just well. So I think I would turn off the computer because I don't trust the computer to have the signal for the next hour.
Oh, it's plugged in. And it's very low though. All right. But I finally got it up while I was singing really slow. All right.
I mean, you can
At
try,
least
but you can try to be on the computer but you'll probably want to shut down the phone. Right.
Can you see me?
Yeah, there you are on the computer. I turned you off on the phone, but I can't hear you now. I can't hear you down below. I can't hear you. I don't hear you. No, I can't hear you. See what I mean? Life is so interesting, isn't it? Maybe if I show her, um, here. Here's the screen. And, oh no, I can't show her that. No, I can't hear you. That's why I didn't want to change to the computer. Oh, there she is. She's connecting to audio. That was a great version of that song. It's such a deep song and not, some people over sing it, which is really not a great thing. And uh, I've been in the same room with the writer of that song when somebody was over singing, and that was that was not a good thing. So yeah, yeah, Ava, I know that was in your living room. I know that was, girl. Here's
All right, Lee.
okay,
I got you back.
cool. Yeah, we could work that out, but anyway, the phone is working good. So let's talk about Japan.
I love it there.
I know.
Don't you love it there?
Oh God, yeah, it's my second home. I feel so comfortable in Japan, and uh, I love teaching people there. I love singing for people there, and walking around and eating there, and being in the
I
hotel
know.
rooms there. I love everything.
Yeah, um, Japan is one of my favorite. I worked there for a long time. I worked there for a long time in the 70s, the late 70s to the 80s. And I mean, I love it. Well, I had lived there when I was uh, from age 2 to age 5.
Okay.
And so it wasn't, it wasn't foreign. It wasn't foreign to me.
Yeah.
uh, More modern maybe. And we lived on a military base, but my parents were always adventurous. They always went out, and we had I had kind of a nanny, housekeeper, a helper for mom. Her name was Akiko. And after almost 70 years, I remember how she smelled. you know
Oh, yeah.
she was just sweet, and she taught me how to be a nice person. My parents were nice people. They were they turned out to be well traveled, because we traveled all over the world, but they were just nice people, and it was good to grow up there, as fighter jets were flying over the house every day around 3, and Akiko would get under the table with me with rice cakes and peanut butter, and we would wait for it to go because it was loud. They were breaking the sound barrier right over the housing there. And then when I returned this past time, Prince went with me, and it was culture shock for a moment. And um, but my parents didn't teach me to be afraid, so I'm not afraid of something different, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we went to Udon House the night we got there. Oh, and Prince didn't want to eat because he was afraid it was too expensive. and I ate like a pig, and it was $8 or something. I could have eaten. Yeah, yeah, you could have. Yeah. Um, he I'm talking about Prince now, and if you don't know, Prince is 6'4". At that time, he weighed the same as any national champion sumo wrestler. So people would walk up to him wide-eyed and go sumo, and he would go sumo photo, and they would laugh and laugh and laugh. We went to a restaurant, and it was like a hometown buffet, but not buffet. Just a big, oh, like a big old pizza parlor.
Yeah.
And they came out of the kitchen to look at him. They thought he was sumo. So we ordered two beers, two Sapporos, right? They brought his in a pitcher. They, they brought mine in a glass and brought his in a pitcher. It was hilarious. They they just honored him. They loved him. People would follow us down the street, for a glimpse at him. And he was a beautiful specimen of a man in
Yes.
those days. Still
Yes.
is, but he was a
Yes.
beautiful specimen.
Yeah.
And people they just were enamored by him. Great music. The whole time from Hokkaido to Narita, I traveled, and Prince stayed behind a couple of times just because the airfare was so expensive. But I love Japan. There's nothing about it that I don't love, that I can. But then I love Italy too.
I do too.
I'm kind of nuts about Italy, especially northern Italy.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
somebody said, "Eve, I have a 6 month gig." I'm gone. I'm gone. My bags are already packed and in storage, just waiting to go. So
Yeah.
um,
Although last time I went to Italy, I, I had a really bad experience. Well, yeah, it was, I don't know, bad is the word, challenging. I mean, it was, so normally you have, when you're traveling like this, you have places to go, people to meet you, at least there's these secure points along the way. This particular time, I just, after was somewhere and then I was leaving to go somewhere else, there was nobody to help me. And I had too much luggage. And I had, every time I would talk to somebody who should know and speak to me about directions, they spoke in Italian and they didn't care that I didn't understand. And
sure.
so I got on the wrong train, finally realized I was on the wrong train, got off. It was like, evening and nobody was there, and I had to drag all my luggage down and around the train track to someone who could talk to me. They didn't speak English. I went back. I asked this old man, like, some things. He didn't speak English. And then there was, unbelievably, but this is what happens when you travel, right? Unbelievably, there
Yes.
was a young couple. He was saying goodbye to his sweetheart, and he spoke English. And he came over and he said, "Do not do what this man said. Do not take a taxi to where you're going." And he literally drove me around to find another train station that I should get on. And he had called the people where I was headed, and it was incredible. And then I got home, I got to the place where I was going finally, which was the last stop, before the actual airport. And I took a video, which of course I will never throw away. And I was like, it was
Yeah.
quite the day. But
Uh,
other than that, Italy is just so. I was just talking about that with my husband, the European thing. It's interesting because even though there are certain things that their government kind of hands down as edicts, their
yes.
personal life is whatever they want. And so when you
That's
go there, you get this feeling of freedom, you know?
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I sang on the in Torino. I sang on the same stage as Pavarotti, and got to got to tour all up and, well, not tour, but we went to Lake Como, and saw a couple of yachts on our way to the concert hall there, and I just said, I told them to leave that boat in the slip. you know I pretended. I had real hot chocolate and roast chickens on the street, and chestnuts, and coffee, and little tiny demi-tasse that would fire your butt up until next week, and ooh, tripe
Yeah.
that had been slow cooked for 6 hours, and an octopus. I had an octopus salad. I had an octopus salad down in Florence. It was everybody else was eating profiteroles. I had an octopus salad as big as my head. It was so good.
The food in Italy is,
Yeah, it's
I don't know
great.
what I don't know what they've magically done with the food thing, but you know, between the cooking and the growing and somewhere in there,
Yeah.
they just know their shit.
Oh,
And
and
Japan,
shoes.
I love Japan's food too. I mean, I mean, when I go there and people say, "Oh, you want something American?" and I'm like, "No, I do not want any American
No,
food."
one said the group. Oh, they took us to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Really?
And in
And I kind
Japan,
of went,
it's funny.
oh, 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 oh. We went to McDonald's in Japan. I
McDonald's
was
is
like, who? What? Why? Okay, I just give. I just gave up. I had some greasy fries and called it a day because everybody else wanted to go there. We need American food for a minute. Yeah, whatever. So
I,
anyways,
you and I met there. You and I and Prince met there in.
that's
It was.
right.
Um, it was.
80 stuff.
Yeah, Prince sent me a picture of him and me there, and I was pretty darn young. I was like 28 or something. I don't know how old I was. One time I remember talking to Rebecca Paris, who was a big woman, while
Oh,
she was big, and I remember her describing, something that I, of course, had seen, but like, a small room and an even smaller bathroom where her
oh yeah,
knees couldn't, if you closed the door, she couldn't sit on the john.
that's right. That's right. Or, or, a lot of people don't know. In Japan, they have two kinds of toilets. So the Western toilet
Yeah.
and the Japanese toilet. And they're probably a little bit more Western now. But, when we were in Sapporo, there was a Japanese toilet, right? In the jazz club there. And, I thought I was pretty good. I thought I was pretty good, not really understanding my own anatomy after a truck rolls over me. So I thought I would be pinned straight down in the hole. Well, I peed down my left leg. Yeah. And then I had to dry it and then make sure the hole was dry, where I had peed on the floor. Oh, geez. And then dab it with soapy, so you couldn't smell. Okay, that's more than everybody needs to
Yeah,
know.
that's the old
You know,
style.
this what chick has to go through. You know, that was one of the worst times. And then I had to go sit at the piano with a wet leg. It's just when I think about it, it's like, oh, that was an adventure, but it was,
I
and
bet
it's funny now.
the Japanese audiences loved you.
They tolerated me pretty good. I had a little bit of Japanese, and I did songs that I knew they loved. I was fortunate after because I had to come out of there from working regularly because of the Japanese mafia, and there were some young girls that were sequestered, persuaded to hand over their passports once they got over there, and then they were slaves. They were slaves to their passport holders, and they had to pay a certain amount of money. Well, I helped to sneak 6 out with the help.
Really?
Oh yeah, and that's why I had to leave Japan years ago and stay home. Stay home, kind of go, fade out of the woodwork because they're here too. The Yakuza, was here too pretty strong. So I helped 6
Wow.
girls. I helped 6 girls and I came home and I sat quietly until the smoke cleared. And I think maybe 15 years later, I was able to go back, but it was only on tours and not to stay. Because, I stayed there for 6 months out of the year, when I would go before. But I didn't
Wow.
stay.
I don't know
We
if
just,
I don't know if you want to say, but that's quite a story. And how can you say how you did that or?
oh, well, they would, the girls, I would befriend them, and then I'd ask them certain questions, and I ask them if they had somebody at home, and blah blah blah, and were they able to, communicate with them, and blah 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 blah. Blah. And then I would write letters that would go out, airmail from the base to their relatives or parents or whoever was looking for them, because the kids didn't want to, girls don't want to worry you, with I just want to come home. They don't want to do that. And the Yakuza looked through all their mail and looked through their things when they were working the bars. So I would send mail out. I had a house of my own and a driver and a girl at the house. And my driver, uh, God bless him, he was older. He understood. And the girls would come and visit, and I have slumber parties over at the house, and we'd be watched. Slumber parties, have the girls over, have them sing a song on the gig. It would take about a month and a half. They'd sit in and they'd sing all the while I was having their passports redone by the embassy. Um, they couldn't get to the embassy. I could go to the embassy at will. Nobody, no, I never gave anybody my passport. I was an angry, I was an angry Black woman. I just didn't give my passport away. And I kept it on my person, strapped to my person at all times. So, um, uh, I get the new passports, I bring them home to my place, I put them in a secure place. And when the girls were ready to go, blah, 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 are you going to do my hair tonight? Yeah, I can do your hair, Eve. Okay. We'll go after work. Okay. Just nice and loud where everybody could hear. Or do you want that voice lesson tomorrow at 2? They take a taxi to the house. And then we would smuggle them and go on base under the guise of having, me going to lunch or going to the commissary or something. And then I would drop them. And 2 soldiers would pick them up, and they went home as free. They went home as free. And out of the 6 or 7, 1 got home, and when her relatives found out and they didn't look at it that way, but what she had to do to survive, they They tossed her away. She died. She
Oh my
ended up
God.
dying. Yeah, but um, all the others survived and helped others get out. You know, because it was big business in the 70s and 80s. They were snatching young girls off the street, but people who wanted careers in music and a chance to be in a movie or something, these young girls would, well, okay, you know, and off they would be stranded. So um, I walked away. I left my clothes. Um, all I had in my purse was my passport and my papers from the embassy. And I wasn't supposed to leave for another month. And I went on and I had lunch, and then I went shopping, and then I got on a plane and flew to San Francisco.
Why, what happened that you decided at that point to leave? Did it get a little hot? Did you notice,
Yeah,
did
it
people
was,
talk to you?
yeah, the reins on the girls got tighter and tighter because when they came, when they didn't come to work, when they didn't come to work, um, they went looking for them. You figure a couple of days, 3 days, okay.
Yeah.
But after 3 days, they go looking for them. And see, I was the only common denominator.
Oh,
I I was nervous the first time,
yeah.
and uh, two went out together. But they phoned the guy and said, um, and they phoned the guy who was in charge of their passport and stuff, and told them those passport numbers are no longer any good, and we are not in Japan any longer. I mean, they just called them and told them.
Yeah.
So, um, and that was so the other girls wouldn't get beaten for for not telling. So, not telling where they'd gone, or if they didn't knew, they beat one little girl to death because she really didn't know, and I couldn't say anything, but it made up the minds of the other four to get out, you know. So
Wow.
anyway, enough of that.
That's
Isn't it
pretty deep.
Victor? Espionage.
Yeah. It's pretty deep, man.
Yeah,
And we just thought of you as a jazz singer.
I, I am just a jazz singer. I, I am very careful, as you are, and as we have to be as women, uh, singers. Uh, there's been so much in the news about the couch and being walled up in an office or a hotel room. If you want this, then you'll do this, or some inappropriate approach. When we were young, we got approached inappropriately on more than one occasion,
Yeah.
and we just said, because you and I are made of the same cloth, you and I said, you know, um, thanks, but no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. And said it with authority. You're no matter how greasy and ugly they were, you're a very attractive man, but it's all me. It's all me. I just can't, and we backed off, and those very same people um, who approached us inappropriately would now, in their old age, probably go, no, no, don't, no, Eve's not going to do that. And, Kathy's not going to, that's a waste, move on. Those same people that approached us
Yeah.
because of the and our tenacity is saying, no, thank you.
Yeah.
It's me, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't want, or what I used to do, because I used to play on a piano bar, I would say, I, by what some people would call a butt. I didn't have much of one then. They would grab me or grab me by my breast, and I'd look them directly in the eye and go, $25, please. That'll be $25, please. And they would look at me and take their hand away. I said, well, you touched it. Where's my money? I just get loud. Um, but and a butt squeeze, a butt lower, and there wasn't much of a butt. So I gave them a discount. Okay. A butt squeeze was $15. $15, please. Because I'd always say, if I had to touch you, excuse me, but if you're going to touch that, you have to pay for it. And oh, Eve, uh, Eve, you're not mad, are you? No, only if you don't pay me.
There's the
Okay?
Eve Evan that we love.
And
What,
what
one
my
time,
pole dancing career was over by then. You know,
one time I was with, I can't remember her name. She was a singer in town in the old days. She was really strong. Let's see, this must have been around 1996 or 7. And I was singing at Simply Blues, up at the top, kind of catty corner across from Motown. And she was in there with me, and we were sitting down at the, there was a lot, it was really cool place, but there was a big bar area around the whole outside of the lounge, and then there was lower chairs on the inside. So we were sitting talking, and this guy comes over, and he is attracted to her, and he puts his hand on her thigh. And I'll just never forget. She looked at him and she said, "Do I know you?" And he said, "No, baby," whatever he said. He was like, "No, but I'd like to know you." She said, "Then why is your hand on my leg?" Just like that. She was looking at him. He took his hand off her leg. And immediately. It was great. It was like, yeah, yeah, I want to be able to do that.
well, you are. It's just when you step on stage and you're a little nervous before you get there, and then the light hits you and you're there.
Yeah,
Okay, it's that same fearlessness. I have this package to deliver. Um, i- if I'm every once in a while, even now on my little old fat body, I get a grab,
yeah.
and I turn it and I say the same thing. Do I know you? Uh, why'd you? What possess? I know I'm beautiful, but what possessed you? Okay, and they are apologetic, because we're entertainers. People think that we're um,
Open.
objects.
Yeah,
Yeah, everything is open. Um, I was fortunate, when Prince is around, I can't get a guy to talk to me, you know, because they look at him,
yeah.
then they look at me and go, and then they look back at him and go, never mind. It was just a thought, and they walk away. You know, he has never. He's always been protective, and I appreciate that. One a really really bad Aunt Jemima joke happened one time when we were in Canada. A really really bad, it wasn't an awful scene. it was actually comical. And I was fronting for another band, and Prince was in the back of the room, you know, where 6'4" can stand without obstructing anybody's view. And the person made the joke, and I was very quiet because I was always a straight man. And I said, Prince, and all he said was yes. And the guy went, Prince is here? And he says, yeah. And Prince says, you know, I haven't hit anybody in a long time. And the audience went, ooh. And that was the end of all of those kinds of jokes. That was the end. You know, with the word there, no fist, no, you know, no little skinny Abraham-looking bass players were killed because that's what he looked like, Abraham Lincoln. And you know, nobody got hurt, but you know, sometimes you need some backup.
Yeah.
You know, but you got backup because you're married now.
Yeah, well, I have to admit that, see, here's my admitting. When I was young and, you know, young and foolish, I actually did a lot of stupid things because I was naive and I was a love
Sure.
child, and, you know, I was like, you know, really open for things. So I was lucky. I mean, there, you know, and whether it is luck or whether somebody's watching over you or whether you're watching over yourself, which I always felt those things, you know. It's like, I don't know, I got into some situations that I'm surprised that I ended up fine. And, you know, I had a few weird ones. You know, I had a really weird experience in Yugoslavia, but I got through it, and because I had a good state of mind. And,
Yes.
you know, and so, I mean, within a minute, from absolutely crying hysterically to totally knowing what I was going to do and with no tears. Within a minute, all that happened because the way I
Yes.
think, you know, it's just like click, 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 click. Okay, that's it. Now I know what I have to do, you know, and no need for crying anymore, you know. So, yeah, but
Well, yes, yes, you're my sister from another mister. Yeah, because I think the same way, you know, as bad as it could be, just our brains go, oh, okay.
yeah, yeah,
And you know, we're resolved. And also, I think we live our life uh, with the knowledge that this is just part of our journey, you know, um, and we're always ready. Um, it's not hard. It's not difficult to be brave when you don't, when you understand that everything here is transient.
mm-hmm,
You know, the sky's only blue because somebody told you it was. For all you know, it's pink, you know. Um, I want to be, I want to be brave. I want to be happy. I find joy in little things. I appreciate friendship. Sometimes, almost all the time, music is the glue that holds it all together. Um, and not my making the music, because I don't make the music, I only deliver the music.
yeah,
I only, I try to keep my instrument in in some shape where the package doesn't look like it's been wrapped by a 3-year-old. You know, so even if the package isn't bright and it's just wrapped in a brown paper bag, it looks nice and neat. And try to put a bow on it, a little bit of a bow on it, or just put some brightly colored smile or joke or story next to it to make it not seem so dull, because what's inside is spectacular. What's inside can make the difference and has on occasion made the difference between life and death for some people. It has eased them into transition. It has brought them out of comas. Music's pretty spectacular, and how fortunate we are to be the girls in brown to deliver.
Hey Eve, do you have a favorite gig or a few favorite gigs that you ever did that just always remain with you?
Well, I have one today, as a matter of fact. This client has been a client of mine for 30 years. She and her husband's Bill's gone. But Diane is, through this pandemic, Eve, can you come over to the house? I'm gonna have the so-and-sos and the so-and-sos, they're leaving for the season. And I want to have a little dinner party. And it'd be perfect if you were here. Oh, okay. So I go over and sit on the other side of the room and I play through softly so they can talk and laugh and have a good time. And then for 15 minutes, I sing one secular song and 2 gospel songs, and my gig is over. And she pays me, and she says, "Now I want to do this again next month." And what's happened? Yes, I'm on the radio, please. And what happens is it's helped me go through this, time when nobody's working.
Yeah.
Nobody's working at all. And we got the letter. At the beginning of July that there will be no more. You will be fined, for live entertainment, in anywhere. So, and I get it because we all need to get well and stay well. I don't know what this means. I actually do know what it means. It means what's been said for a long time. Write a book. It means for me to get on the stick and get the book written and published and out there to other. I was thinking we should get 4 or 5 singers together, chick singers together, and collaborate and write a how-to book on how to be, the pitfalls, just from our experiences. And we could make it a collection where everybody wrote, and this was my favorite time, and traveling in this country, it means this, and if you hear somebody say, I can make you a superstar, don't believe them, because there's only a few superstars. There's only a few superstars. But you and I, my friend, we've been doing this a long time. A long time. Wally Holmes asked me one time, "Why aren't you a star? Why aren't you a star?" I am a star, but I'm still working. When there is work, I am still working. I can still travel to other places and work because, we try to bring integrity, to our craft. We should write, like
Okay.
a six volume how to, really fast read, a little
Yeah.
comical, you know. Let's think about it.
Okay.
If any of you would like to buy, we're taking pre-orders at
Yeah, I mean that's a great idea, and I've even thought about, because I've had so many people teaching at the house here, hundreds of people in my
yes,
workshops,
yes.
and I've thought of that. I've also thought of like really funny books of like the worst stories that ever happened to you, which have,
I know. And it's so funny to us now. It was horrifying, mortifying to us at the time. But then, time time is time, and it does its thing, and we get to recognize, as we get older, we get to recognize how comical it really was. I can't imagine what God was splitting his side, laughing at us.
definitely somebody was watching. Oh, by the way, Tierney Sutton is here, and she said she loves you.
Tyranny, tyranny. I love you, girl. I love her too. Now that's one that I met after doing, a play. I met her after doing a play. I think that was the last time I laid eyes on her.
What was the play? I forgot that you act as well. Always just, because I haven't seen you act. I don't think, have I?
I'm always acting. I'm an actor. No.
I'm an actress.
I got, gosh, I don't remember what year that was now. 2000 something, 2000 something. That was 5. Yeah, 2005. No, 6. I got Best Actress for a play called Going to St. Ives.
And where was this?
It was in Palm Desert.
Oh,
Where were we? At the Jocelyn Playhouse.
oh,
And oh gosh, at the Jocelyn Playhouse, and it was a 2-woman show, and I was the mother of an African king, and he was Idi Amin-esque, and she wanted her country back. He was the product of a rape, and he was king. And she had to she went to England to get something done with her not glaucoma, glaucoma, and she met a surgeon, and ophthalmic surgeon, and she persuaded her to get poison for her to poison her son.
oh, wow.
And the ophthalmic surgeon was actually, she wanted to be the savior of this woman. You can come and live here, and she didn't understand it wasn't about that. She didn't understand. She was trying to save one person when a whole nation was in a bloodbath. So I did a dialect, and I got back, and there were some great shows that year. But I got Best Actress. I was surprised.
Great.
I wasn't even going
see
to.
that.
I'll see if I can find it, and I'll make a copy for you. I'll see if I can. I have it around somewhere.
Wow. And
Yeah.
So did you do more acting?
Yeah, in fact, I acted from out here from 98, I think, until every once in a while I do a thing called script to screen, where playwrights send their material over to this the script to screen office, and they choose. And I did a show about last year about um, uh, unsolicited sterilization. I did a show about the missing women in South Carolina, the women that had gone missing that nobody seemed to be concerned about. And I did another show by the same, these are all by the same playwright. She lives back east and she's just prolific. She just has a wonderful body of work. She did one about how people of color lived in this trailer park that was next to a dump site. And everybody was sick, but nobody knew why, that never came up in conversation. But at the end of the play, you find out that the manager of the trailer park owns the dump site next door.
Oh.
That's how she, unknowingly, like I said, either ignorance or greed, motivates this stuff. So,
Right.
I do a script to screen, maybe once every other year, bi-yearly, because up until now I was very busy. I didn't have time to do the rehearsals, even though it's an open book. And, it's a reading, it's a staged reading. I didn't have time because I was off on cruise ships and having fun eating, gourmet food and hanging out with my East Coast buddies.
What a drag, man.
Yeah, I know.
And you're listed as a producer too. So.
Well, Arlette Bud, I mean, do you remember Arlette? Arlette McCoy?
Yeah. Gorgeous.
Yeah,
gorgeous, talented woman. Gorgeous.
Yeah, I produced her album.
Oh.
Yeah, I produced her album, and I have several other projects, because I haven't done any producing since the late 90s. I've produced shows, and directed shows and stuff like that, but I haven't done any recording, production, unless you want me to come in and, produce one particular song, a certain way. Yeah, I do it. Yeah, I'm capable. I got those skills.
Do you teach?
Yeah, I used to. Well, yes. I only take professional people who are working or want to work or getting ready for a show or something like that. Because I have a hard time with, I didn't have time to practice. I didn't, no, I don't, after the first 3 notes, they don't know. They didn't do anything you said. And so I just have to say, go home. You're wasting my time. Not your time, you're wasting my time. Yes, you have to pay me. You came, but you didn't do your homework.
Yeah.
So I love teaching. I love inviting Blues for Miss Dupree. I failed to mention. I also produced that album.
What was that?
For Blues for Miss
for Ava.
For Ava, yeah, and that came out to be a nice piece. Every cut, everything you have to do, you have to look at it and dissect it, because I like to have the dissection when I go, not unlike you, when I go in the studio, I like to know, you never quite know what's going to happen, but at the same time, certain things have to happen.
Yeah.
The sound has to be correct. You have to sound like yourself. The drums and the bass can't overpower the vocal, and the piano can't overpower the vocal. And that's when I'm playing. That's when you're playing,
Yeah.
They're just saying, oh, strings would be nice right here. Well, everything I've thought it through so much. I hear it in my head. I hear it in my head before it
Yeah.
happens. Not unlike you. You know, doesn't mean we can't do some variation on the theme, but everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
That's why everybody can come to the studio at the same time. We lay this down. It's not going to take 6, 12, 14 hours to, you know, fix this and fix that. I did a demo last year. My God, the guy was recording from his living room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then he took it to the studio. And you know, people usually hire me for my skills as a interpreter of the music.
Uh-huh.
And this guy ran the song. Well, you know, on the 8th time on the song, you know, Cathy, you know, right? I said to him, I said, can we please stop? And he said, okay, Eve, I want you to go up on this part. Okay, let's stop. Do you want me to sing this song as written? Well, just say what you want. Don't keep yanking me through this little tube and you're having an idea. Tell me what you want. So what I ended up doing is singing the song exactly as it was written and recorded by the person who originally recorded it. He was so delighted. I could have gone home 3 hours before. You know, most, you know, it's you know, I just, he came to hear me sing 40 times. He knows I can sing a song 5 different ways, you know.
Yeah.
But so that's one of the reasons I didn't, I was going to audition for the Basie band, you know, but I didn't audition because I got a phone call that says, we love how you sing, but you have to sing it that exact same way every time. And I said, really? Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't like that. Sure, I would. I would like it. I would like it. No, you wouldn't. So what happened is I didn't get your job, and I'm glad I didn't, because the person that was there before, now she can sing any way she wants to. She was with them a long.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt your flow, but Prince
Did you
sent
find
pictures.
Did you find me?
Prince did. Boy, you look great in this part. Look at you. Woo!
Well, that's just before her execution.
Huh. Oh, so she was executed. I didn't know that part.
Yeah, she was executed for murdering her son. She poisoned him.
Oh, okay.
And the ophthalmologist came to Africa and said, you can just come out and get in the car and we can get over to the embassy and I can get you home. And she said, you don't get it. You don't. I'd rather die for this, and then the people know that they're safe.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Uh,
I love that part. I loved it. Anyways,
it's I unbelievably, and I know what you said at the beginning of this, but it's 2 hours.
has it been 2 hours?
Yes.
Let's do lunch and go eat sushi somewhere for 2 hours.
Okay.
I'm not lying. You
I'm
think
ready.
I'm lying?
No,
Well,
this week I got Thai food. I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I have to spend like $40 on Thai food. And I've been eating it
why
every
don't you make
day.
it? I'll send you a cookbook. It's really easy to make.
Really? I love Thai food. And
Yeah,
I love
so
sushi too, so let's go for sushi.
I love Thai food, but I want good Thai food. I want Thai food.
Me too.
I want Thai food where a bunch of Thai people are in the restaurant and you can barely get in. That's the Thai food I want.
Hey,
There
Prince
used to be
wants
a
to hear, excuse me, Prince wants to hear your accent from the lady that you acted.
tell him I cannot do it. Tell him, tell him to mind his business. You know what? He's really good to have on. Prince, take a nap. I have to go to work. I love
So,
you guys.
and by the way, excuse me, just so everybody knows, Prince has been your manager for years, right? That's basically
Yes, yes,
that's who Prince Moore is. He's a photographer. He's a beautiful human being, and he managed her for years.
yes, yes. He has managed for years. Oh gosh, yeah. He's been my rock for a long time, and he's one of the best human beings I know. He's kind and he's strong and he's shy and he's soft and he's hard and he loves chocolate. His birthday's coming up in November, and he is sheltering because he wants to stay well. Um, it's been kind of hard before this and after this, but he's doing good, and I'm so grateful for that. Um,
He said, "Don't make me come over there."
Jeez. You know, it's a crappy job, but somebody's got to.
Well, Eve Evans, thank you so much for spending 2 hours and sharing everything, your deepness and your music and your beautiful point of view. Thank you.
Well, it's been my pleasure to be your pleasure.
I like that.
I love. I have to go load the car now because I don't have a roadie. Um, I'm just, what do they call it? A working girl,
Work, a working musician.
and I have to go put the piano and the speakers and stuff in the car and run over here and hang on a second. Before I go, I want to remind everybody to mask up. You see?
Yep.
See? It matches my ensemble, just little jewelry, and you can be all there. And the other thing I want to remind everyone to do is please, for the love of heaven, please vote.
Please vote.
Please vote. I can't express that to you um, because the emperor, oh, no, 45, he's not an emperor yet, but he wants to be. He needs to step down and let someone with compassion for human beings be appointed. I'm just saying.
I know. Thank you. Voting is important, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, he wants to make it less important, and anything he wants, we want the opposite. Oh, did I say that? Except for that stimulus check, which we all should be getting, But just before the mortgage company clamps down on all of us, we should be getting a stimulus check. So
Maybe.
yeah, that's a maybe. But hopefully, we can be kind to each other. And by the way, not particularly me, because I have a good support thing. But if you think of someone, some musician, if you think of someone, call them. Don't text. Oh, you can text them and just say, I was just thinking about you. That's all you need to say. It it helps with people who have a hard time being inside. I learned to play by myself when I was young. Okay, I have two sibs. Mother and dad gave me two toys to play with. So and my sibs are far away from me now, but we make it a habit of, once a week, just calling Jen and going, what the hell are you doing? You know, what did you cook yesterday? Just inconsequential things. It just makes a big difference. So take your time, because it's at your discretion, to exercise your kindness, to press your kindness button, and give some people a holler. Don't forget to vote. Mask up. I have a mask with great big teeth on it. You can look at it on my Facebook page because it's stupid. But I walk up to people and go, hi, behind the mask. And they see these big red lips and these big teeth. And they just laugh they just laugh. And that's my mission in life during this time, that people, we can't touch anybody. Some people don't care. Some people just run and hug me. Okay. and I just ask for divine coverage that I don't catch anything, and I hug them back. So I don't get many hugs these days, but occasionally.
Yeah, man.
And he paid me $5. Oh, anyway.
I do want to say online here, I don't know how many people saw this. Speaking of hugs and people needing hugs and all that, we've lost quite a few old time jazz people in the last few months. Barry Zweig and
Yes.
Joe Porcaro, and actually just this week, I don't know if you know this, but Dave Mackay passed. Yeah. So anyway, everybody who knows about Dave, just hold him in your heart. And his wife is still with us, and she's not super picture of health, but she's holding in there. But anyway, Dave Mackay was a special individual, so I just want to give a shout out
Yes.
about that.
Yes. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Well, so just before we sign off, I want to bless everyone. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from another. Take care of you. Take care of yourselves. And call a sister sometime. I'm available. I may not answer right away, but I'm available.
Okay,
I
cool.
love you.
Love you, Eve. Thank you so
I love
much.
you more. Talk to you later. I'm hanging up. I'm
Okay.
touching it. I'm touching it.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye, baby.
Bye. And that was Eve Evans. Now you can see why everybody loves Eve Evans. And tomorrow is a singer from New York, Alexis Cole. Not only is she a great singer with a really interesting life story, but she's also recently put together something called jazzvoice.com with I think it's about 10 of the really top jazz singers on it, and who give lessons and workshops. It's really an interesting thing. Jazzvoice.com, if you're so inclined. And so she's going to be my guest tomorrow. And Monday, a very interesting duo from New York. I always pronounce his name wrong. Menigan, da-da-da, and Terry Roiger. So they sing and play together, and they're probably married. I'm not sure. And then the next day, Tuesday, Clayton Cameron, the great drummer who's got a lot of great experience. And then for you guitar fans out there, a great guitar player who used to live here and lives in New York now, Steve Cardinis. And he was, I don't know how many of you know this, but I'm like a super guitar fan, and played with guitarists. It's funny because singers sometimes they'll marry or play with a bass player, or some are attracted to pianists. I've always been well, I have had saxophone players though, but but guitar has always been a real item for me. So he was a guitarist of mine. And then Thursday is my day off, going to the beach with my grandchildren. Friday, Abe Pearlstein. So for those of you who know Abe, he's a kind of a DJ up the coast, up the West Coast. He's talked to a lot of great people, and he's a really interesting guy. And Rosanna Vitro, great singer from New York, will be on Sunday. Anyway, next week, Dina DeRose, Kim Richmond, Corey Allen, Kate McGarry, Shauna Tucker, Lenora Hammond, Becky Kilgore, and Tom Wakeling. It's going on and on. Even in September, we're going to have Diane Shore. So I'm just going to keep doing this until, I don't know. It's all a big improvisation. I hope you have a great day. I plan on having a really good day today. So goodbye, everybody. Take care.